So you bought a house, or maybe you're thinking about buying a house. Well, according to a recent survey done by Zillow.
We don't talk about Zillow, no.
I know we don't talk about Zillow, but I have to say it because they're the ones that did the survey, and I trust their surveys a lot more than I trust their estimates. So in a recent survey done by Zillow, a whopping 75% of home buyers during the pandemic have buyer's remorse. Why is this number so high? How can it be avoided, and what can you do if you were one of those home buyers? We're going to talk about that right now. Let's do it. Remorse is something everyone has in life, especially when it comes to buyer's remorse. But usually, it's not something that costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that is where we are. From 2020 to the present, we have had an unprecedented real estate market. There were tons of buyers, and as the pandemic went on and on, fewer and fewer homes were put on the market for sale. Prices have skyrocketed, and there continues to be a huge demand for them. Because of the frenzy to buy and low inventory, there are a lot of people who now regret their decision to buy during this pandemic time. A majority of those people are millennials. What are the main things that these home buyers have regretted about their homes? Well, number one on that list is the maintenance on the home that they purchased. No matter what home you are trying to buy, it is going to cost you money to maintain that home. It's just the nature of home ownership. But right now, buyers are going crazy and doing things when buying a home that they will regret. I see buyers waiving inspection periods. Well, when you do that, close on your home and then move into it, you're going to start to discover all the things that the inspection would have revealed if you had one. And some of those things can be expensive. Imagine purchasing a home, spending a whole bunch of money on down payment and closing costs, and then after moving in, discovered that you need a new $20,000 roof. Or maybe you need a new HVAC system that costs $7,000. Or maybe it's just death by 1,000 repairs with leaky faucets, electrical issues, flooring needs, and more. See, buyers right now are so desperate to buy that a lot of them are not sitting down and truly thinking about the maintenance on the home that they're looking to purchase. If you are looking to buy a home right now, you need to make sure that you do the following. One, you need to make sure that you get an inspection on the house. I don't care if it's new construction or what, get an inspection. And if the seller won't budge and refuses to allow a due diligence period or a right to inspect contingency, then walk away. Two, get quotes on items that are found in the inspections, just to give you an idea of what the cost could be if you move forward with purchasing the home. I know right now sellers are not willing to fix items even if you have an inspection done. But at the very least, you should have an idea of what the costs will be before you follow through with the purchase of your home. Next regret, and it's a big one here in Atlanta, commute time. One thing that was happening, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, was this move out from the city and into the suburbs. The desire for more space in the home, for a home office, and outside space with a nice yard was in high demand. Since so many people were working from home and doing Zoom meetings, people could move wherever they wanted to and didn't have to worry about that commute time. Well, now a few years later, for many businesses, they have started back wanting their workers to come in for at least a few days a week. And commutes, especially here in Atlanta, are killer. It is not unusual for someone to have an hour to an hour and a half of commute time one way. That means for the day, people are looking at 2 to 3 hours spent in traffic. And while this may be good to get some podcast time in for a while, it does get old. One thing I make sure to tell my buyers is to look at commute times, not only to work, but also to places that they will frequent. Make sure that they are good with the location of the home. If your friend group or family is a long way away from where you're living and you see them on a regular basis, the home that you're looking at may not be the one for you. If you like to go to concerts and events downtown, yet move to the suburbs, it's time to think about, is it worth the commute time to do those things? Another regret that builds on the last one is homeowners were purchasing homes that were too big. So often people buy big because they see themselves needing the space, but then end up not really using it. That happens a lot with first-time home buyers who have saved up a good bit of money and can afford a little bit of a bigger home, but never actually experienced living in a big home. I see this a lot with things like basements. They sound like a good idea at the time, but I know a ton of homeowners that say they never actually go down into their basement very often. And as I mentioned before, those buyers who had to have a home office now are going back to work and don't need that home office anymore. So as a buyer, make sure you really think about the space that you need versus the space that you'll actually use. Think through who you are, what you would need the space for, and if it'll actually be used. If you think you would like this space to throw parties and have get-togethers, but you don't do that right now because you lack space, it's highly unlikely that you'll actually do it when you have the space. I mean, even when I didn't have the space, I still threw parties for like 30 plus people in my 1-bedroom, 700 square foot apartment. So what I'm saying is that people that need space and will use that space are likely to be the same people that are making do with the space they currently have. If you're thinking a guest bedroom would be awesome, but you never actually have guests over, you likely aren't going to use that guest bedroom very often. This next issue is a big one, and I see this both during the pandemic time and actually before the pandemic hit. Regretting the neighborhood you buy in. What do you want from a neighborhood? Do you have kids and want your kids to play with other kids in the neighborhood? Do you need a social neighborhood? Or maybe you want just a really quiet neighborhood. Whatever it is, investigate the neighborhood that you're looking to buy in. Go talk with the neighbors. Go by the house and drive the neighborhood during different times of the day and on different days. Try to see if this neighborhood has a social media page. You can learn a lot with just a little bit of investigation to see if this neighborhood fits what you are desiring. Now, what if you're in this situation of buyer's remorse, either right now or in the future? Well, if you're in it right now and you purchased your home maybe a year ago or two, you likely actually have a decent amount of equity already in your home. It is very possible that you could actually sell that home right now, still make a little bit of money, and move to a home that fits your needs better. You can actually gain from your regret. The other thing you can do, if you can't or don't want to sell right now, is look at your house and the good things that you like about it. Can you make this house a home and make it yours? I know you can't fix commute time, but can you figure out how to make the most of your current situation? And if you do not think that you're in a place where you can sell the home right now, here in Atlanta, home values just continue to rise at a record pace and look to continue to do so for the foreseeable future. So when you do get to that point when you have enough equity in your home to sell, it shouldn't be too hard to find that right buyer. I hope this video helps buyers that are currently looking to buy a home right now so you don't have remorse in the future. I hope if you recently purchased a home and are having remorse, know that you're not in this boat alone. And if you need some help trying to figure out your way out of your current home, I'd be happy to help you if you have any questions and maybe guide you either to possibly selling your home or figuring out what you can do to make this situation the best possible. I'm Jonathan McCoy, Atlanta's Real McCoy with Keller Williams Realty, Chattahoochee North, and I'm here to assist you with any real estate needs you may have. My contact info is below. Reach out anytime. I post videos just like this one weekly about all things real estate, as well as living, working, playing, and breathing all things Atlanta and the Metro Atlanta area. Thanks, and I will see you next time.